Hello, I am Paul from the Electric Bike Shop, and this is the first video in a short series which will attempt to answer the most common questions that customers ask us in our stores. Okay, so let's get straight into it with the most common question that customers ask us in our stores, and that is, how far can the bike take me? What is the range of my battery? This answer is not precise, it's not exact for various reasons which I'll now explain. The first part of the answer really is talking about the size of the battery and really trying to convey that batteries on e-bikes are just fuel tanks. They have no bearing on power or performance, and the bigger the battery that you have, obviously the longer the range. So we sell batteries that are 400 watts, 500, 600 or 625 and more recently 725 watt hour batteries. Clearly the bigger end of the battery size is going to have far more range than a smaller battery. But that said, there has never been one customer that's come back to me and said, Paul, you've sold me a bike and I've run out of battery. All the battery sizes are ample for what customer needs. The second part of the question really is the factors that affect performance or range of the battery. And those are quite simple. So obviously the first one is terrain. So if you use your bike in hilly terrain versus flat terrain, it drains the battery more because there's more assistance needed. There are other things like air temperature. Don't expect the range to be as good in the winter on cold days than it will be on a nice warm summer's day. And then things like rider weight and tyre width, tyre tread and tyre pressure, which create additional rolling resistance, that can affect the range as well. So if you have a wider, fatter, knobblier tyre with a heavier rider, don't expect the range than you'll get against something that's probably a bit more road orientated, or a bit slicker and a little bit thinner. I personally, to try and give an indication of range that a bike can give a customer, I use a very simple formula in the store, which seems to work quite well. So I'll take the battery size. So if somebody's taking a 500 watt hour battery, I will divide that by 10. So that gives 50 miles in eco mode. And I think that's a reasonable explanation or indication of the range that a bike will do for a customer. But I do caveat that with, if you're going to use an off-road bike, obviously that's going to be reduced by probably a quarter, 10-20% maybe. And that's really the long and short of it. You can play around online and you can Google Bosch range calculator, and on there you can play around with the motors, the battery sizes, the types of bike and the tyres, and the speeds, how fast you pedal, and that'll give you an indication of what it thinks the modes will give you in terms of range. I find that a little bit over probably estimated, and I tend to knock about 10 or 20% off those values to get to the sort of ranges that I talk to customers about. But that's it. Thank you for watching, and look out for the next question very soon. Take care. Bye.